now the fun begins.
There was a leaked probable cause affidavit for Sigfredo Garcia. Now, of course, Ms. What the Fuck said, hold my beer. And she found it for us.
Well.
Let's do a bit of reading time. Probable cause. The facts and information obtained by your affiant with regard to this matter comprise proof to establish probable cause, respectfully submitted as follows. Paragraph. Now, on July 18th, 2014, at 11:02 a.m., a report of a shooting was received at the home of FSU law professor Dan Markell, 2116 Trescott Drive, Tallahassee. Upon arrival, TPD officers found the homeowner, Daniel Eric Markell, slumped over the driver's seat of his vehicle from an apparent gunshot to the head. Markell was transported from the scene to a local hospital where he later succumbed to his injuries sustained from the shooting. During the investigation of this homicide, the consistent element is that Markell was deliberately targeted. There is no indication this incident was in any way part of another criminal intent to include burglary or robbery. Initial investigation at the scene revealed that a neighbor heard a gunshot and looked out the window, where a small silver or light green vehicle was observed backing out of the victim's driveway.
During the on-scene investigation of the reported incident, it was determined Markell was the divorced father of 2 small children. The children were not present at the shooting, and their location was confirmed to be daycare at a locally licensed facility. Markell's ex-wife was identified as Wendy Adelson. Adelson was located at a local restaurant and contacted by investigators. Adelson was escorted to TPD and informed of the situation. She was cooperative during her interview and confirmed Markell was her ex-husband, with whom she shared custody of their children. During her interview, Adelson made statements that suggested the death of Markell could have been arranged by a friend or family member on her behalf without her knowledge. Adelson furthered in her suggestion that someone could have arranged the murder to help her and included a statement advising her brother, Charles Adelson, had mentioned hiring a hitman to kill Markell in the past. Specifically, her brother Charlie Adelson makes a lot of jokes in bad taste and told Wendy he had looked into hiring a hitman and said it would be cheap. It was cheaper to buy a TV. Wendy Adelson stated after the divorce she wanted to relocate to South Florida with her children and felt her former in-laws would suspect her of this crime against their son, since she was denied the ability to move with her children by the court.
Interviews with other associates of Markell and Adelson, as well as persons knowledgeable in the divorce rulings, indicated Wendy Adelson attempted to relocate with the children to South Florida. The court denied this request, and Wendy Adelson was reportedly devastated by this ruling. Other statements made by associates indicate Adelson was not happy in Tallahassee, Hiawassee Springs, and wanted to move back to where her parents live in Coral Springs, Florida. During the investigation, it was also learned that Adelson was the sole recipient of a large life insurance policy for Daniel Markell, $2 million. Adelson is the person who has the most to gain by the death of Markell. She would retain sole custody of the children, and she would receive the benefits of the large life insurance policy due to his death. Adelson's parents, Donna and Harvey Adelson, made contact with an investigator at Markell's memorial service on Sunday, July 20th, 2014 in Tallahassee. They agreed to contact the lead investigator before returning to their home for the purpose of an interview. The following day, Wendy Adelson's attorney informed the lead investigator, Craig Isom, that Adelson left town with her children and parents en route. The attorney could not provide a date for Adelson's return to Tallahassee, and Donna and Harvey Adelson left town before speaking with TPD investigators. They did not notify the investigator prior to their departure.
Over the next year, investigative efforts developed intelligence that indicated 2 persons of interest traveled from South Florida to Tallahassee on July 16, 2014, and returned to South Florida immediately after the murder on July 18, 2014. These two persons have each had contact by phone with a third subject, Catherine Magbanawa, one being in contact before and one in contact after the homicide. Magbanawa had frequent phone contact with Charlie Adelson, Wendy's brother, as well as at least one phone contact with Wendy's father, Harvey Adelson. In addition, available records show one of the persons who traveled to Tallahassee had at least one phone contact with Harvey Adelson on July 1, 2014.
On April 19, 2016, investigators conducted an undercover operation which had an undercover officer make contact with Donna Adelson outside of the school her grandchildren, victims' children, attended. A flurry of phone calls occurred over the next several hours to include calls between Donna Adelson to Charles Adelson and Charles Adelson to Catherine Magbanawa. Private meetings were scheduled by Donna Adelson with Charles Adelson, followed by Charles Adelson with Catherine Magbanawa. That's a lot of syllables.
It is. Over the next several weeks, communication was monitored on the phones of Charles Adelson and Catherine Magbanawa. Records show contact communication between Magbanawa and Charles, but also constant communication between Donna Adelson and Charles Adelson. Right. Donna's location at the time of those meetings is relevant to aid in the prosecution of this case.
In October 2019, Garcia was tried and convicted. He was sentenced. Oh, so this is Donna's arrest, her probable cause. Okay, yes. My bad. I misspoke. Apologies. He was sentenced to life in prison in April 2022 after the clarified audio recordings from Dolce Vita revealed Charlie Adelson making additional incriminating statements. He was arrested for first-degree murder, solicitation to commit first-degree murder, and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. In May 2022, Catherine Magbanawa was tried and convicted. She was sentenced to life in prison.
In October 2022 and November 2022, the proffers were conducted with Catherine Magbanawa confirming many of the investigation's discoveries. In October 2023, trial for Charles Adelson commenced. On November 6, 2023, Charles Adelson was found guilty on all charges. He is set to be sentenced in December 2023. In Adelson's trial, Magbanawa testified that Adelson told her that his mother, Donna Sue Adelson, had just departed his residence at the time Magbanawa arrived on the night of the homicide. Magbanawa said the money she received appeared to have been washed. She also stated Charles told his mother, Donna, washed the money at their condo. This statement was made prior to July 18, 2014, and Magbanawa recalled it being stated again on July 18, 2014, the date she received the money.
Jail calls from after Charles Adelson's guilty verdict include multiple calls to Donna's phone, not redacted, in which Donna Sue is telling Charlie, that she is getting things in order, creating trusts, and making sure her grandchildren are taken care of. In our separate call, Donna discusses plans for a suicide. You can bury me in the dress that I was going to wear to the pub, but also discusses plans to flee to a non-extradition country. Donna Sue has considerable financial resources to accomplish this.
On November 7, 2023, at 11:30 p.m., Donna and Harvey Adelson booked flights to Vietnam with a stop in Dubai. The flight EK0214 departs Miami, Florida on November 13, 2023 at 8:10 p.m. To Dubai, flight EK0392 departs Dubai on November 15, 2023 at 9:35 a.m. and lands in Saigon at 7:35 p.m. There were no return flights booked. Vietnam is currently a country with no extradition treaty with the United States. On
Monday, November 13th, 2023, a friend of Charles Adelson contacted the state's attorney's office in Tallahassee. They advised Donna and Harvey contacted them Sunday, November 12th. 2023 regarding travel to the Philippines. The Adelsons advised they had travel plans to Saigon until November 2023, but no further plans at this time. The Adelsons were seeking advice for airlines as well as places to stay. This family friend has known the Adelsons for over 10 years and has never had longer than a 5-minute conversation with Donna or Harvey. Count your blessings, just saying. They found the contact very strange. Harvey Adelson told the subject, "You must not mention to Charlie anything about our plans."
Interesting. On Monday, November 13, 2023, at approximately 8 p.m., Donna Adelson was taken into custody at the Miami-Dade International Airport as she entered the jetway for her flight. Donna was in possession of a cell phone at the time of apprehension. As Special Agent Pat Sanford attempted to seize her cell phone, Donna attempted to pull away and prevent him from grabbing it. Donna said she was told not to give her phone to law enforcement.
On Tuesday, November the 14th, 2023, a search warrant was executed at the residence of Harvey and Donna Adelson. Items seized during the search warrant included 2 Apple iPhones and 1 Apple iPad. This search warrant is for a white Apple iPhone seized from Harvey Adelson on November the 14th, 2023. At this time, the state would be seeking a search warrant for the above listed cell phone for any applications or evidence of moving money, accessing financial accounts, or scheduling and booking travel plans to evade apprehension. Also, any documents, files, or other items pertaining to finances or financial adjustments made by the Adelsons or other communications, photos, videos, or evidence related to the homicide of Daniel Markel.
Over multiple search warrants, services to cell phones of the affiants charged, numerous investigations of violent criminal acts led by this affiant, suspects consistently search the internet for information related to the crimes they have committed and conduct these searches more frequently than those uninvolved. They also fixate on one event of which they are involved as opposed to other acts of a similar nature occurring the same time.
Electronic devices continually store data, including user and subscriber information, calendar entries, contacts, call detail records, text message logs and content, location information, Wi-Fi connections, logs and content for messages sent and received via email and mobile application, notes, pictures, videos, audio recordings and voice messages, metadata for various media, internet history and queries, Hoslong to dying cold, wrong case, and mobile applications.
Handset user or subscriber information can assist law enforcement in identifying the owner of the device, typical users of the device, user identifiers, i.e. name, date of birth, phone number, address, email address, usernames, etc., and device identifiers, i.e. serial number, IMEI, etc. User identifiers can assist law enforcement by identifying different accounts, i.e. email addresses, social media usernames, cloud storage usernames, accessed by the user. This can assist law enforcement in identifying other accounts for which law enforcement may need to submit legal demands, i.e. Apple iCloud storage accounts to further their investigation.
All content on an electronic device may be used to help identify the user of the device preceding, during, and subsequent to a criminal offense. For example, calendar entries may include content such as my birthday. Thanks, Jackie, for that. I'm going to do that forever and ever. Amen. Now, I'm going to do this. Identifying the birth date of the user. Furthermore, information such as contacts and call detail records can confirm the identity of the device user by identifying known associates of the user. There is likely information stored on electronic devices which can assist law enforcement in identifying the users of the devices.
Persons often send messages, text messages, multimedia messages, voice messages, emails, chats via mobile applications, etc. which include time-stamped information about the handset user's whereabouts, activities, thoughts, encounters, and experiences. Persons involved in criminal activity often reach out to others and seek assistance in concealing evidence or evading law enforcement after such activity. If an electronic device used by an offender is searched, there is likely incriminating content in the message stored on the electronic device, which can provide information ranging from the motive to commit an offense to efforts made to conceal evidence, i.e. firearm, clothing, etc., and evade law enforcement.
Devices capable of electronic communication typically store location information from cellular towers, GPS and or Wi-Fi connections during incoming and outgoing transactions, i.e. text messages, phone calls, etc. And when background applications, i.e. Facebook, are checking for updates, i.e. new messages. Wait, do we need this? Hang on. This stuff isn't as exciting.
Yeah, I think we can maybe skip through and look at
yada.
Yeah.
Something. Okay, am I scrolling still? Is there more? Yes, because they have to wrap it up. They have to land this plane also. Okay. Here we go. I am now requesting a search warrant for the data contained on Harvey Adelson's cell phone for anything after June 2012 to present. Whew. The data being sought is any that would further the investigation into the communications and actions of Donna Sue during the crime and of any events related to this incident before the crime occurred. The data may also serve to identify those subjects who carried out the act with him and the location of any outstanding evidence. Data on the phone may include photos, videos, or internet searches, which may prove to identify any financial records or other electronic evidence of their possession used to carry out this crime. Excuse me.
And so the rest of it is just, this is
yada.
who I am that's requesting it. So this is super interesting. Jason Newland did this, and it looks like what it turns out to be is the probable cause, and it's a request for a search warrant for Harvey's cell phone. I haven't seen Harvey's name brought up a whole heck of a lot, but all over here.
I think it's very, very interesting. Very interesting. Excuse me. So that wasn't the leaked one that they were talking about, but we might keep digging for that one because I feel like that might be a cool one if we can find it.